and welcome to Morning Fuel. I am your host, John Bundy, and you are here because you believe in the power of the spoken word and its ability to change lives, and that by sharing our stories, we can help others overcome challenges that they cannot overcome on their own. Whether it's a victory you need to win in business or in your own personal life, you understand that answers can be found in listening to others who are willing to share their stories, knowing that their story ultimately doesn't belong to them. All right, today's guest, with a background in land development and real estate before inventing a disposable patch used to notify a caregiver if their loved one who suffers from dementia wanders off. He and his team now have developed a new product line to help families feel more secure about their senior loved ones who live alone. Please help me in extending a Morning Fuel podcast welcome to founder of TrackPatch One Corporation, Alerta Family Products, John Reese.
Thank you for having me, John.
Yeah, man,
Appreciate
it's really
being
great
here.
great to have you here.
It's taken a couple of years for us to get together, but it's great to be here.
Yeah, I think it was mid-pandemic. We kind of ran across each other on social media, and then we have a mutual friend that we can barely nail down out there that he's not getting into too much trouble, but a lot of fun. So this is real estate and then a disposable patch to track your loved ones. Where does that story start? Talk to us about the origin story.
Big leap.
Big leap.
It was a big leap. I have no background in electronics or disposable patches or anything of that caliber. I have been in land development and construction for many, many years, 25, 30 years. And then my mother was caring for my great uncle who had dementia, and part of the family would, his brother would wander, and someone stayed with him pretty much 24/7, him and my aunt. So I decided there had to be a way to help notify caregivers if someone wandered. And I grew up in West Virginia in the mountains, and we grew up with AM radio. I'm in my early 60s, and AM radio was prevalent. So when you would go over the top of the hill and down the other side, you'd lose radio signal. So I realized that if you could separate a receiver from a transmitter far enough, 60 feet, 80 feet, 100 feet, with a signal strength indicator, in a disposable patch, we could tell if someone left a safe zone. So with the help of a tremendous team, I mean, just great guys. One of the fellows was basically created the original electric typewriter with the daisy wheel. So we've got some guys. We've got some guys on our team.
They know something.
They know something. One fella has 16, 18 patents to his name. So, it's a great team. Justin Perez, who's our CEO, is just phenomenal. Can write code, can create apps, can do so many different things. So I've kind of strayed off into the weeds about the team. But basically what we did was we built this patch and started selling it. And we sell it to this day. But the market is relatively narrow. It's not a huge market for people.
Sure.
So we've expanded our product line tremendously, and what we have coming is phenomenal. So.
Fantastic. So still really don't understand how you hop from land development and real estate into that, but you had an idea. And then you got around or sought some people out to help you develop it?
Yeah, it was because of my family. That's how I said, hey, I can make this product. Bill Aldridge, who's an electrical engineer, him and I built the first breadboard patch and wedge, and we tested it in front of the McDonald's on Battlefield Boulevard in front of Chesapeake General Hospital. And of course, the McDonald's across from a hospital has a lot of elderly people eating lunches that are
Sure.
going to doctor's appointments. And we had these two little breadboard devices with lights and buzzers and everything else. I'm sure they probably thought it was a bomb.
Right.
And Bill or I walked out to the stop sign, and of course, the thing starts buzzing and lighting off inside, and it was our proof of concept. So then we worked with a fellow named Lou Crenshaw, Infinite Mind Designs, out of downtown Norfolk. Super intelligent guy that really built the first true patch. And then we ended up moving everything to Dallas. Not everything, but all of our design and build to Dallas. But we kept our corporate offices here. So that's kind of how we got into the patch business and how we built the first patch and wedge. And now, of course, the patch has advanced quite a bit with an accelerometer in the new patches, so we can tell if a person fell.
Okay.
And we can adjust the patch for different, if you want to keep a person within 60 feet, or we can go out to 120 feet. So that's the patch that we have on the market now.
These are life-saving devices.
They are. So, that patch will be on the market.
Sure. Do you have? I'm sure you do. I just want to hear maybe the most poignant or the one that jumps out the most of a story from someone who has had the patch and just it just was kind of miraculous or really was that life-saving proof of concept. You talked about the first being at the McDonald's and kind of doing this test, but do you have stories of folks that are actually using it and successfully?
We do. We sell through of course, our website. We also sell through the Alzheimer's store, and we get comments back. I remember one lady specifically was talking about her husband liked to go out and work on his lawnmower, but he had dementia and he wandered sundown pretty bad. So she put a patch on him, and so he was still free to go out to the garage and work on his lawnmower, but he wandered off on multiple occasions until she put a patch on him, and then that stopped that. And she could go recover him and bring him back to the house. And we have a lot of stories like that.
Sure.
So this is really a notification prevention product, and we're pretty happy with it. And we know that it helps many people. So
Sure. I would suppose most of the times when someone is not protected like that, there's a lot of injury involved. People just wandering out. Perhaps out in the neighborhood, out in the road. My mother-in-law is slowly succumbing to dementia.
Mm-hmm.
We take care of her. She stays in our home, and so having something like this, the thought of something like this available, starts to make me feel good when I'm hearing occasionally the front doors opening. Hey, Mom, where are you going?
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to have that peace of mind. For something like that, it's great. I didn't know that anything was like that out on the market before I met you. Right. Now that we're thinking about it, now that we're having these situations, it's like, okay, great. There is something like that we can use.
Our new product line will be exactly what you need, I think.
Okay.
But
is it a replacement for the patch?
It's not really a replacement,
the patch
but it's
2.0,
just no. It's what we've done is when we developed the patch and the wedge, we created a phenomenal communication system that works in just about every environment, whether it's a steel building or a frame construction home or a concrete. It works everywhere, okay, which is difficult to overcome. And we've used different variables inside the receivers and transmitters
Sure.
that give us the ability to adjust inside the system. So now, once we developed this communication system, we realized, and I'm going to let a little bit of the cat out of the bag here. We've held these secrets fairly close, but we're going to market very, very soon. I think we're going to do quite a bit of marketing anyway, so sure. I don't think it'll hurt to let the information out 90 to 120 days before product launch. So What we've done is we've taken a mattress pad, a chair pad, rug pad, motion sensor, and some other devices, and we put transmitters in them. So when your mother, is it mother or mother-in-law? Mother-in-law gets out of bed, we know she got out of bed. When she goes to the bathroom, she hits the rug pad, or could be a motion sensor, either way. When she goes to the bathroom, we know she's in the bathroom. Then we know she goes to the kitchen by a motion sensor and gets her morning coffee or tea. Then she goes to her favorite chair and she sits down. That's her routine. Right. That's what she does in the morning. And you can adjust the routines to whatever you want. She does whatever specific things she does. And there's we learn that data. We have it's not artificial intelligence. It's basically between predictive analytics and creating a puzzle.
Sure. Like a pattern recognition.
Pattern recognition. Exactly. So pattern recognition, and there'll be some outliers that if she normally gets out of bed at 7:15 and one day she doesn't get out until 8, you can set those parameters from 6 o'clock in the morning till 8:30 in the morning. And as long as she gets out of bed during those times, it's fine. So she gets out of bed and she has her normal routine, and our app will narrow down that routine and throw out the outliers. So 25 samples, 20 of them are good, throw 5 of them out, and we have a pretty good idea of what her routine is. Now, if she gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and this is what's really Justin and I and Ken really dialed in on. If she gets out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and goes to the bathroom and doesn't go back to her bed,
something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
Okay.
So you would get a push notification through your app.
Right.
And you can have as many people as you want on the app. So it could be siblings in a family taking care of a mother that's either living alone or in an assisted living facility or something like that. Mm-hmm. Another situation might be mom goes to the bathroom 7 times a day. Or 7 times a day. Right. And she's done that consistently. We've learned her routine, how often she goes to the bathroom, but now all of a sudden she's going 11 or 12 times a day.
Sure.
Very possible she has a urinary tract infection.
Right.
So there's so many things we learn from this. There's nothing else like it on the market.
That's care for the caregiver right there, because the peace of mind that somebody gets that's caring for their loved one, that's thinking all the time, oh, I don't know what's happening. Now we have something to track it.
That's right.
That's
and
phenomenal.
It can be, a mother living in Chicago and a daughter living in Florida or whatever. We are talking now with some home health care companies about being our implementation team, which would be beneficial to them as well as us.
Right.
So if you have someone remote that needs the mattress pad placed, chair pad, different things, they could go in and set everything up, and it would give them an introduction to the family.
Right.
And then the daughter just downloads the app.
Right. Gotcha.
And but there's just so many different scenarios.
Yeah.
Or routines that we've got a morning routine that you can set up, or we can preload some routines.
Gotcha.
Morning, afternoon, evening, overnight routines. One of the cool things, and I'll show you here in a few minutes, really cool, it's in the app. We can tell if mom's sleeping 7 hours and 15 minutes on average.
Right.
But if she's sleeping on 5 hours on average, there's probably some issues that need to be dealt with on her sleep patterns. Right.
Gotcha.
So I can go on and on and on.
Yeah,
about
no, it's
this
phenomenal,
app.
and it's great, and so then the mind goes like, what else? Eventually it's just going to hone in more and more and more, and with the advent of technology, I mean, you're really getting, I just continue to go back to thinking about the peace of mind, because I know when my wife is at work and she leaves her mom and her mom's home for the day, occasionally she'll take her to an adult day program or something like that. Mm-hmm. But when she's home by herself, she's fallen, many times.
Right.
And to be able to know, okay, wait a minute, she's in this one spot longer than she normally is, or I suppose you said with that, accelerometer? What is it? Would that show if somebody has fallen? Is there that ability with this as well? Is there some sort of, you know?
So as we bring out the new patch with the accelerometer in it, we
Okay.
will be able to tell consistently if someone has fallen.
Right.
That is will be integrated into this system. It's a separate system now.
Right.
But in the new iteration, it will be integrated into this system. So there's so many different things we can add into this with CO2 detectors, flood sensors.
Gotcha.
People flood their bathrooms, and
Right.
we can. There's just so many things we
Gotcha.
can put time or temperature and humidity sensor. We can just put a lot of different
Right.
sensors.
Well, that's phenomenal. So, wow. So we definitely talk about the technology for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The challenges you've had, either bringing this to market or some roadblocks or walls. We at Morning Fuel call that the what the fail. So what challenges have you run into that maybe even took the program out? Or are there other challenges you've had in business or anything that's come up that's kind of maybe could have ultimately just taken the whole thing out? Has anything like that happened with you?
A couple of different things. So first of all, as everybody thinks a patch is a great idea. Oh, and people wonder. You hear on the news about once a month where a person has wandered away, and often they're found in lakes they've drowned or they've
Right.
frozen to death. And it happens. It happens all across the country. But that market is narrow. So when we developed this product, we thought that everybody was saying it's a great product, and it is. But it will not sustain a company. There's not enough, 150,000 people in the country that need this patch. It will not sustain a company. So that was the first thing we discovered. We probably should have done a little more market research before we spent the amount of money developing the patch. But on the other hand, if we hadn't developed the patch, we wouldn't have been able to develop this new line of products because it's all tied together through technology discovery. That was the first thing. The second thing is the hardest thing when you start a company, a startup, is fundraising. I mean, it is so difficult to raise funds. There's some exceptions. There's some companies. There's a company in this building that we're in right now that raised millions of dollars overnight, but it's rare that someone raises the amount of money that is needed to start a company up. And then so you fight and fight and fight. You go meet people. You call everyone you know and everybody you don't know to put money in the coffers to develop products, unless you have a tremendous amount of money to put in yourself, which some of us have put quite a bit of money in, including myself, but you still need more money. And now we're on that tipping point where we're raising a little bit more, but it's coming to a close. We're about done now on the fundraising. So if you can't raise money, you can't build a product, you can't sustain a company. So, and we've had those days where we were digging in our pockets to make payroll. So, as you know, it's difficult to raise money. So those two things, I guess that would be the two main stumbles that you have to overcome.
So the reason for the title of this podcast, Morning Fuel, that's that. What is it that gets you up in the morning, even when the days are hard or the challenges are hard? What is that thing or those things or those people that help you to make it, just work harder, make it through the day, get to the next day? What is that morning fuel for John Reese?
So I'm a big Christian. That gets me started first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So I can't deny that first. That's really how I start my day. But beyond that, we have friends and family that are shareholders. And I'm responsible for their money.
Sure.
And I have to make sure that their money makes money. So that's really what. But I'm going to back up a little bit. 25 years ago, when I did my first land development, I was a single father. I sold my house. I bought a I don't know, a 30 foot Mallard trailer. And my son and I moved into that trailer with that. And I had this gut feeling that, you just get that feeling things are going to go really well. And a week later, we sold the property and made a lot of money. I had this same feeling with this company when this new product line. I just had this feeling, my gosh, this is going. We're doing this.
Right.
And when you talk to that mutual friend of ours that you and I both know, and he's kind of in the marketing business, phenomenal, 500 employees, multiple companies, has done really well. And he talks about the subscription base for this and the amount of clients he can put on the books.
Right.
I understand why I feel that way now.
Sure.
Because the growth potential is phenomenal. So, because all of us have. So I guess it's a twofold answer: responsible for your shareholders, your family, your friends that have invested money, and number two, responsible for those people that are living alone that really need a product line like this to make the families feel better about them living alone.
Yeah, when you're given an inspired idea, and then all of a sudden you realize the amount of people that you minister to with that business that you just created.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Wonderful.
So I have a really good friend. I'm not going to mention his name because I didn't ask him. That we do business together quite a bit, and the way he lives his life has inspired me to change some things how I did, and I immediately saw the benefit from it. So just if you look at yourself and make a few changes, you'll succeed in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, continue to improve. I had an employer once say ABL, always be learning.
Right.
Always be learning.
Right.
Fantastic. Before I ask my last question, how can folks best reach out to you if they have any questions about the more information on your products, or even to purchase your products, or get involved even more, maybe on an investing level, if there's still any opportunity for that? How do they reach you?
My email's pretty easy. It's john.reese, REESE, at trackpatch.com.
Okay, excellent. We'll add that to the show notes. And then...
Right. And then alertafamily.com is our website, and you can reach me or Justin or one of the people through that, through the website. And everybody in the company that's been in this for 8 years now is more excited now than they were 8 years ago.
Great.
So we're pretty happy about how things are moving forward.
All right. Well, my last question, John Reese. What does John Reese and the Alerta Patch family need most right now?
Time. Time. There's so much to do.
Sure.
And I think the people that have started a company and it becomes successful, they realize the first thing you're doing is you're sitting at your desk wondering what to do.
Sure. And
then you get to a point, if you're successful, you're sitting at your desk wondering what you need to do next because you have so much to do. And we're at that point now. We are just many, many jobs and not enough people to do them. And we're in that growth point right now. So, we're getting ready to bring on coders and bring on, we're a cloud-based company. So there's just so much to do. So I think that's probably the best answer.
Okay. So. All right. Lots of time blocking.
Yes. Yes, we need more of it.
Yeah. Good thing there are some really good technology pieces out there. I'm looking at, what is it called, Motion right now. And I heard Monday is really good. So we're looking at some of that stuff too, but fantastic. John Reese, really great to finally get to see you face to face.
It is.
And to ask you the questions I've been thinking about for a long time. I appreciate you a lot. And man, best wishes. God bless you. It's awesome. You spoke of being a Christian earlier. I mean, those of us that are children of the living God, there's more to it than just what you see on the outside.
Right.
And even what we're doing day to day, because we are making change. We're changing the world.
We are.
And I'm really, really excited about that more and more.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
You, man. You're welcome.
Bless you as well.
Bless you too.
Thank you.
All right.